Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance Channel's Romance Roundup. I am Liz Donatelli.
And I'm Libby Kay, author of the sweet romance series Buckeye Falls.
Libby and I are sharing must-read Christmas romances. Listen and subscribe to Romance Roundup on Podbean and all podcast apps. Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance Channel and subscribe on YouTube. Libby, let the roundup begin.
Okay, giddy up and ho, ho, ho. Here we go. So my first one is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. Here it is for visual aid for those of you watching. This came out fall of 21 from G.P. Putnam Sons. I love Maggie Knox and only recently realized that it's two people, much like a Christina Lauren book. This is from Karma Brown and Marissa Stapley. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. So this is their first book that they worked on together, and I loved it. The tropes are all of the good ones you're expecting. It is bursting with all of that holiday Christmas cheer. It is a rom-com. I would say the other tropes, and this is not a trope, but this is why I loved it. It has such strong Parent Trap vibes, both the Lindsay Lohan version that I watched as a pseudo youth, and then my ultimate favorite, which was the Haley Mills one that came out in the 60s. That obviously I was not alive when it came out, but I watched that religiously. I remember it used to be like on a loop on Saturdays as a kid, and oh my god, I love that movie. And now I kind of want to go watch it again after talking about this book. The twin swaps is the whole point of this book, so I hope you're ready for some holiday shenanigans with mistaken identities.
They don't have mistaken identity that often in romances, do they? Like, I feel like
no. And that's why I loved this. So the premise is it's two twins. We have Charlie and Cass. And Charlie is a chef who gets hit on the head on the set of her reality baking show and temporarily loses her ability to taste and smell, which, as a show judge on a cooking show, is obviously a career ender. So meanwhile, her identical twin, Cass, is frantically trying to hold her own life back together in their quaint little hometown. And so she's struggling with the family bakery. Charlie can't taste a darn thing. So what do they decide to do? They're going to switch places, Liz. So yeah, I got so excited when I read the premise. So they have until Christmas for Cass to help Charlie with her job as this reality show judge, and Charlie to help Cass with their bakery back in their hometown. So I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say that both of the ladies in their new roles meet some new gentlemen. And as the book says, is this changing places a recipe for disaster? And it is, Liz, but in a good way. Ooh. And it was a Hallmark movie in a book on steroids. It had everything you would want, only it did have some steam, because that's usually what's missing in the Hallmark movies.
Yes.
There was a little bit of steam. You know that I'm a huge fan and advocate for pacing. The pacing on this book was perfection. Every chapter had a perfect hook that I was, it was a very quick read. I could not put it down. There were moments, I know that there's a lot of readers that don't like the miscommunication trope, but this to me, this is a book where they did the miscommunication trope well, because it had the mistaken, everybody else didn't know that they had swapped places. So that to me, this was a perfect example of how that trope works, and it didn't bother me because it was really part of the whole, the plot point of the story with them changing places. So it had, a small town bakery at Christmas, like, give me a break. Per our foodie episode, I'm all about anything food related. So it just had all of what you would come to expect from a winter rom-com with Christmas themes. Like, it was just, there were cute moments, there were like quirky, like, what the heck am I reading, but I'm laughing while reading it. Like, it had all of that. And it was, like I said, it felt like I was reading a Hallmark movie, which I say is high praise.
Yes,
I just love that stuff. And this is the time of year to have the quirky, the cute, and it was fun to see the sisters, realize what was really important to them, that whole thing. So it was just a really fun book that I read a year ago. It was one of those, I remember when it came out, I bought it right away because it sounded so cute, and then life happened and I didn't read it forever. So even though it's 2 years old, I read it last year, but it was really, really cute. And I think it's the perfect thing for people to read when they're getting into the holiday spirit. So that was The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. Again, came out fall of 21 from G.P. Putnam Sons, and I highly recommend it.
I'm excited about the whole secret identity, twin switching.
There's certain things that happen in romance books that if they happen in real life, I'd be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But the way that they're done in a romance book, I'm like, please give me more of this ridiculous idea that people wouldn't realize that you are your sister. And I don't have a twin, so I don't know how easy it would be or not. But
yeah,
it was so good. Like, it was just so silly at points. I'm like, what am I doing? But I was enjoying like the whole thing. Like,
wow, that's quite an endorsement. I
yes.
dig it.
So Liz, what Christmas romance are you going to tell us about next?
My Christmas Number One by Leonie Mack, published by UK publisher Boldwood Books in September 2020. Boldwood Books publishes a number of genres, but it is, in my opinion, most popular for its romances. Oh. So definitely check out that publisher. I am going to read excerpts from my review of My Christmas Number One, which was published on allaboutromance.com back in, I guess, 2020 when the book came out. British pop music sensation Cara works hard to advance her rising career while keeping the personal trauma of her leg prosthesis a secret. With an upcoming album and tour in the works, Cara can hardly refuse her music label when they ask her to record a Latin Christmas single with Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter Javi Felix. And Javi is like super hot and swoony and all that deliciousness.
Yes, please.
Despite the two singers' clashing personalities, Cara is uptight and cynical, Javi is carefree and upbeat. Cara and Javi collaborate long distance on Nostalgia, a Spanish-English love song that speaks of forgiveness and hope at Christmas time. So Cara and Javi eventually embark on a promotional tour of this song, Nostalgia, and takes them to places like Miami and Mexico and Colombia, where they're like building the buzz for this song that releases on Christmas Day. So, of course, as they get to know each other and, work with each other musically, they begin to have feelings. Then when the song is released on Christmas, they, perform the song here and there and in concerts. The more time they spend together, their souls connect, making it impossible to distance their fragile hearts. So Leonie Mack is a fantastic story writer. This was her debut romance. She has since written several romances, and her strength is definitely writing well-developed characters. English and Colombian Christmas traditions and Latin culture, music, and food are described vividly in detail. There are concert scenes within the book that are written with such precision because Leonie does have a background in music.
Oh, cool.
That I felt as if I were actually watching Cara and Javi performing live. And then there's this beautiful grand gesture that is just everything. So I highly recommend Leonie Mack's sexy, slow burn, music-themed, heartwarming Christmas romance, My Christmas Number One.
Oh, that sounds so good. And I like that it's a slow burn because I'm kind of in the mood for one of those.
It's a slow burn. Oh, yeah. But it's there's enough sexiness and moments throughout that that satisfy you on that journey to the big moment.
Oh, sign me up. So next up for me, I'm continuing my saccharine sweet recommendations for this holiday season with Princess for Christmas by Jenny Holiday. And I'm assuming Jenny Holiday is a pen name because she writes fabulous Christmas books, or she was just born and destined to write these amazing Christmas books. But this is the first in the Christmas in Aldovia series, and it came out in fall of 2020 from Avon. It is not to be confused with the movie of the same name, starring the actor who played Jamie in Outlander, which is also called A Princess for Christmas, which you should watch just because it's awesome as well. And I watched it with some of my girlfriends at a bachelorette party a few years ago, and it was just a hi-ho good time. So separate shameless plug for that movie. Anywho.
Did you say a hi-ho good time?
Oh my God, we had so much fun. It is
hi-ho good
everything
time.
you would expect to be, and I don't even know if it was a Hallmark. I don't think it's a Hallmark movie. It just is in the vein of Hallmark Christmas movies.
Okay.
Totally unrelated, but you should watch that movie because it's great.
I got to check that out because I'm in the mood for a hi-ho good time.
Hey, it's wholesome goodness. It's perfect. Going back to Jenny Holiday, A Princess for Christmas is everything you would expect in a royal holiday romance. There's a moment of mistaken identity. There's, holiday tropes out the wazoo. The general premise is we have Leo, who is a brother taking care of his younger sister, Gabby, and he makes a living by driving a cab, and he's the super for their building. And so he's pulled in a million different directions. And of course, the last thing he's looking for, Liz, is love this Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? One night while he has Gabby in the cab with him, they see a woman in an actual ball gown standing outside the UN building, needing a ride. And so his sister talks him into picking her up. And lo and behold, it's Marie, who is actually a princess of this fake place, Eldovia. And she is in the States for a variety of reasons, trying to help with the family business and with the crown. So I won't go into all this stuff because that kind of takes away from the, I don't want to ruin any of the surprises, but he agrees to be Maria's driver because she needs someone who she can trust. And frankly, Leo needs a couple bucks, and Gabby's enjoying the experience of having a princess in her life. So really sweet interactions with Leo and his sister. I know sometimes you read you being everybody. I know when you can read books and there's like the quirky sibling and you're like, oh God, this is taken away from the story. Gabby was just quirky enough. Like I loved it. Her interactions with Leo and Marie were perfect. So the book takes place mostly in New York, but because this is a book about a princess at Christmas time, they eventually go back, all of them, to Eldovia, and shenanigans ensue. And I won't give away what happens, but it is everything you would expect, much like the other books I've been talking about. This should be a movie. It's predictably wonderful is how I would describe it. And I really, really, really liked the other two in the series. The second one is Duke, actually. And then the third just came out last year. So This Is Christmas. All three of them are must reads. They do build on each other, but you can read them individually. You wouldn't miss anything in that situation. But it is, oh God, it's so cliche. It's beautiful. It's exactly what you want at Christmas. It is low conflict, great quirky side characters that add to the story instead of taking away from it. And you are introduced to the future couples for the other books I just mentioned, which I like as a reader and obviously like as a writer as well.
Yeah.
It's just super cute. And it gave me, and it's been a while since I've seen Driving Miss Daisy, but it gave me those vibes in a few scenes where like Leo's driving and just, he's trying to keep his cool, and Marie's just, she's sweet and adorable and the distraction he doesn't need. So yeah, it was, it was brain candy. And I mean, that is the highest compliment.
So it would be holiday brain candy. So what kind of candy would it be?
I guess it would be a candy cane.
A candy cane read. Now, why isn't that like they have summer reads? They should have a candy cane read.
We should make that a thing. We need to make a cute little graphic. So that was A Princess for Christmas by Jenny Holiday from Avon Press. Highly recommend. So where are we going on our next candy cane adventure, Liz?
Garnet Run, Wyoming.
Oh, I'm already excited. This is the cowboy.
Not quite.
Okay. I'll temper my expectations. No, I'm kidding. It still sounds lovely.
Well, now nobody's going to want to hear it because you just got them excited about cowboys. Let's see. Okay. I highly recommend The Lights on Knockbridge Lane, book 3 in Roan Parish's Garnet Run series, published in September 2021 by Harlequin as part of its Harlequin Special Editions line. Interesting fact, The Lights on Knockbridge Lane is the first ever gay romance novel in a Harlequin category series.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, it's a history-making novel. After a messy breakup, single dad Adam has one priority, making his 8-year-old daughter's Christmas wish come true. And that wish is to decorate the outside of their house with the most Christmas lights ever.
Oh.
Adam enlists the help of his new neighbor, Wes, a recluse with a secret, who the neighborhood kids think is a vampire because he is only seen outside at night. But just so you know, this is not a vampire romance.
I was going to be my first question.
No, I knew I had to cut you off on that one. No, it's not a vampire romance. But you know what? It could work as a vampire romance, I think.
Oh.
I think it could, because Roan Parrish is not only a romance writer, but Roan is a huge horror movie fan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they were a vampire.
Yes, Roan is also a vampire.
Vampire.
So I think Roan could actually rewrite this as a horror novel, which I would love.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome. The more time that Adam and Wes spend together working on the light situation, they begin to explore their all-consuming mutual attraction.
Oh.
Yes. Adam is reluctant to risk loving again, especially with his daughter, Gus, to consider. And Wes is afraid to make room in his quiet, solitary life for the love of a new family. So first off, I love Roan Parrish's cozy small town setting of Garnet Run, Wyoming. There's 3 books in the Garnet Run series. I read the second one, which is Best Laid Plans, which is fantastic. Second, 8-year-old Gus is one of the most well-drawn characters of that age, who I absolutely adored. Gus is precocious, not obnoxious, which is good. Important.
That seriously.
I mean, how many books have we read with, a child in it that takes, center stage, and the kid is just not fun. Like there's just obnoxiousness out of their nose.
The kid takes away from the actual point of the story.
Yes.
It's not fun.
Right. Roan writes a beautiful love story for Adam and Wes. It's sexy, a bit steamy at times. There's yearning, and there's so much heart and healing that occurs. I highly recommend Roan Parrish's cozy, sexy, heartfelt Christmas romance, The Lights Are Knockbridge Lane.
Oh, I'm adding it to my list. It sounds adorable.
And you know what I love? And sometimes I don't know if when I say that the page count appeals to me, I don't know if it makes me seem like a lazy reader, but it's short because a lot of the Harlequin books, as you know, are short. So it's like, I always feel relief because I'm like, okay, I'll be able to get through. Like I have such anxiety about reading.
It's like a palate cleanser sometimes to be able to pick something up and know you can knock it out in a day or two.
Yeah.
Have it be, I mean, there's a reason I don't really, I also don't like fantasy books, but there's a reason I haven't been on the trend with some of the fantasy romances that are coming out. Is frankly, I just don't have 500 pages worth of energy.
Yeah.
Against the stories, I'm sure they're great.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting is that I want to escape, but I don't want to get lost. And
that's
I feel like
a really good way of putting it. I don't want to be like physically weighed down with that book.
Yeah. I'm going to have to mention that little gem in more episodes. I want to escape, but I don't want to get lost.
To me, it feels like homework. If I'm picking up a book that's more than 500 pages, it makes me feel like a high school textbook. Yeah. And then it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Invest.
I agree. So, Libby, what's next on your Christmas romance list?
All right. The Christmas cliches continue, and I'm here for it. The next one I'm going to recommend is Christmas Ever After by Karen Schaller. This came out in fall of 2020 from Hawktail Publishing. And this is a standalone. And I realized after finishing the book, because it's on the back of the book, that Schaller wrote the screenplay for A Christmas Prince, that Netflix series that came out. I think it came out in 2020 was the first one. And then I think they got married in one and then had a baby. And I'm sure I'm giving away the names of all of these movies.
Yes, I watched all those movies. Who's in it?
I mean, no one I can remember, and that doesn't sound great.
I know who it is. So the Christmas Prince movies stars Rose McIver, who I know from iZombie. I don't know if anyone ever watched.
I haven't seen it, but I remember seeing the trailer. And again, it's one of those shows I'm like, I would probably actually like that, but I haven't actually gotten around to watching it. But yes, and she was very good in the movies. I really enjoyed her. Yeah, no,
they're really good. I mean, like they're what you would expect.
Yes,
you know, for a Christmas holiday movie, they're pretty good. Yeah,
no, they're pretty good. So Karen Schaller, who wrote those movies. So that's. So you know what you're getting into right away, and I'm saying that as high praise.
Yeah.
So the premise of this is we have a a romance author, Riley Reynolds, who is having a bit of a slump. And so she goes on a morning talk show to promote her Christmas camp book event that's happening at Christmas Lake Lodge. Again, come on now. This is perfect.
Wait, did you say, wait a second. Did you say a Christmas camp?
Christmas camp. And so it's all things Christmas. And the publishers are pushing this to kind of A, help promote her books, but B, kind of get her mojo going again, because she's having a bit of writer's block, as all of the writers in all of these types of books usually seem to have.
Yes. That is, Christmas camp opens up the door in my mind. That is like, there's so much possibility with that.
Well, and Karen Schaller has, and I haven't read this one, but she has a book called Christmas Camp, which I haven't read yet.
What?
So yeah, so I don't know if she created the notion of a Christmas camp, but either way, I'm here for it. So it's just, oh guys, so it's packed with all the Christmas cliches, but that is what I look for this time of year. So to me, it's not a negative. But the whole premise of this is Riley, the author, goes on, when I read it, I envisioned as like the Today Show, and is talking about this camp, and they ask her about love because she's a romance author. And of course, Liz, she's single, and they're asking her about the great loves of her life. And she panics and just says that she has met the love of her life, but it didn't work out. 3 of her ex-boyfriends are watching the segment and they all think that she's talking about them. So they show up at this Christmas camp at this lovely little Christmas Lake Lodge that's going through hard times, because I like a movie or a book about an inn in trouble. I think we've talked about this in almost every episode. But the innkeeper is a little surly, and he's not thrilled that their last big event before he has to try to sell the lodge is for this Christmas camp. And he thinks it's going to be a circus, and it is, but that's okay, because that's the point of the book.
Yeah.
So Riley gets there, and she basically, like the 3 ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, finds out that 3 of her ex-boyfriends are there, and she has to try to write a book, and she's trying to get in the spirit of Christmas, and. So it is just so over the top sappy, and I just love it to death. Like, it has every Christmas cliche you could ever want, from mulled wine and romantic nights by the fire. There's a cute dog. Like, it has everything you want at Christmas time. Like, it's so over the top. So if you are in the mood for, again, she wrote a Netflix series about Christmas cliches. So if you want that in paper form, I highly recommend Christmas Ever After by Karen Schaller from Hawktail Publishing. It was so sappy and so good. I can't handle it. What Yuletide journey are you going to take us on next, Liz?
Ooh, I'm going to bring us to a blizzard-covered mountain.
I'm already hooked. Are we talking like forced proximity? Because I hope that's
We're talking forced proximity, and I don't know what a blizzard-covered mountain is, but
it's rewind time.
I'm talking about Cinta, Sinta, Cinta, a sci-fi holiday tale, TAIL, by USA Today bestselling author Honey Phillips.
I love everything about what you just said.
Released in November 2022, Cinta is part of the Stranded with an Alien collection, a collaboration of authors telling holiday tales with a science fiction romance twist. Each book is a standalone. Cinta is a quick but memorable read at 88 pages.
Oh, I see. And I like, sometimes, especially this time of year, it's nice to just have a little something.
First, let me read you the tagline. Cinta is coming to town, but this time he's the one receiving a gift. Cinta is sweet and very sexy, a bit steamy. Holly, of course, the main character's name
is Holly. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Holly is spending Christmas at a remote mountain cabin. Cinta, who is a Kringlar sent to Earth on an observation mission, is stranded due to a malfunctioned spacecraft. A blizzard hits, forcing Holly and Cinta to work together to weather the storm outside and the storm of their hearts. Yes, I wrote that.
And I think you should give it to the author to put on the back of the book.
I think I should too. Cinta is a sexy, fun read. There is one laugh out loud scene in which Santa leaves food for Holly that scares the crap out of her. And it's really funny. I don't even want to ruin it.
Okay. Is it a la people leaving out milk and cookies for Santa? Is that kind of the same vein?
No, I mean, no.
Okay.
For a little while before they actually meet face to face, Santa is just watching Holly from afar and kind of observing her because that's his job. At least
kind of like he knows when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake.
Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even think of that till just now. That's probably why.
Oh, I was being sarcastic.
Okay, no, I think that's probably it. And then he leaves something for her, probably like leaving a gift. You're right. Yeah. And it scares her. And after that, they end up meeting face to face and, catching feelings and all that.
Oh, I love that.
So Cinta is actually a fascinating alien because in freezing temperatures, Cinta's body enters a beast survival mode and becomes very hairy. I guess kind of like
hibernation,
like a Yeti,
okay.
Right. I guess to protect you, like when you hibernate, you have to have fur to keep you warm. So to keep him warm, he just grows he undergoes these physical changes. But otherwise, he's a non-beastie, non-hairy alien. Okay, I know. And what also stays in my mind is the name for his male member is a prak, a P-R-A-K.
P-R-A-K.
So he calls his member, like his prak becomes erect and things like that.
Sorry.
No, you can laugh. I mean, it's also supposed to be humorous. Like there is humor in the book.
So it's almost like a Santa rom-com paranormal thing.
There's humor.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's like a rom-com. Although it is funny that he refers to his male member as a prak. But it really is heartwarming. I know, like, you buy in. I wonder, did I buy in easily last year, but maybe I wouldn't buy in as much this year? Where you are in your life when you read it, affects. But anyway, I really, really enjoyed it. I would recommend it. It's fun. It's light. It's sexy. It's for people looking to shake up their Christmas reading list. I actually discussed Cinta on a Boobsmas episode of Boobies and Newbies podcast with host Kelly Reynolds. So you can give it a listen. We talk in depth about Cinta. So I recommend Honey Phillips' humorous and swoony alien Christmas romance, Cinta.
And honestly, I would probably read it knowing it's like less than 100 pages because I don't know because of how I am with like paranormal romance, if I could like mentally commit to something that was several hundred pages.
Oh, absolutely.
I could give it 88.
Absolutely. Exactly. Actually, it's even categorized on Amazon. I did not know this was a category. 2-hour romance reads.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I think is it 2-hour short romance reads or something to do with 2-hour romance reads? Yeah, it's like.
But I like that the two, I mean, I don't want to say everybody has 2 hours because we don't, but 2 hours is easier to find.
Yes, definitely.
Liz, do we have time for a shameless plug?
Why, yes, we do.
Allow me to offer a quick shameless plug for my first 2 books. My first novella that came out in 2022, Snow and Love, follows 2 Paralympic skiers training for the Paralympic Games up in Aspen in an abandoned ski lodge over the holiday season. So it's a little spicier than my normal stuff. Perfect ebook for anyone looking for a little bit of a holiday, bit of a quick holiday read. And then the first book in my Buckeye Fall series, Falling Home, will be on sale in December for 99 cents. This is the beginning of my Buckeye Fall series, but it follows our main characters, Max and Ginny, as they reconnect over the holiday season. I always like to say it's a Hallmark movie in book form, but there's all the stereotypes of Christmas. There's Christmas Jubilee, there's all sorts of baking and shenanigans. So just had to give a quick little shameless plug for Snow and Love and Falling Home, both available now.
Wow, 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 wow.
I love it. And that's our roundup. Listen and subscribe to Romance Roundup on Podbean and all podcast apps. Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance channel and subscribe on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, romance readers.
Happy reading and happy holidays, everyone.